This is Right Around Australia, the story of Nevill Westwood and his Citroën Bubsie on Faith FM. In 2025, the incredible journey will be reenacting another incredible journey undertaken 100 years earlier by young Nevill Westwood, who accidentally achieved the record of being the first person to drive right around Australia. Here is part 5 of his exciting story. The year is 1925. On Tuesday the 17th of August, Nevill and Greg left Pardue Station and continued their way along the Madman's Track, a hot, dry, barren trail that had claimed a number of lives during the days of the gold rush in the late 1800s. The track was now considered to be quite safe, but it was still a rough passage. During the wet season, the cattle had churned the mud on the track into ridges, which then hardened in the hot sun. This made driving the track a bumpy, juddering experience and slowed the little car down considerably. With all the jolting and shaking, it was no wonder the men suddenly noticed petrol dripping from the petrol tank. They were all alone, with no help in sight and many miles yet to go, so they had to figure out a solution on their own. They found the source of the leak and groaned at how inaccessible it was. But they were resourceful and found a piece of rubber tubing, which they ran from their spare petrol supply at the back of the little car to the carburetor at the front. This worked well for a while, and they congratulated themselves on their resourcefulness. But not for long. They soon discovered that the petrol was causing the rubber tube to perish, and their precious petrol was dripping out again. There was only one thing for it. Nevill reached down and plugged the hole in the petrol tank with his finger while he continued driving. However, the leak was in such a remote spot, he had to bend down awkwardly to cover it, which meant he now couldn't see the road. So, Greg navigated while Nevill drove, and in this way they managed to keep going. For a while at least, until they ran out of petrol. Now, there was nothing they could do except start walking, which they did. It was a scorching hot day, and the only water they could find to drink was brackish. But they kept going and walked 20 miles along the 90-mile beach, until they reached the Anna Plains station that night. The owners were very hospitable and fed the exhausted men and gave them a bed for the night. In the morning, the manager drove them back to their car, gave them some more petrol, and led them back to the station, where they were able to have their fuel tank repaired. It was Friday by now, and as the men avoided traveling on Sabbath, they stayed another day at the station before continuing their journey. On Sunday, Nevill and Greg thanked their hosts and set out for Broome, where they treated themselves to a stay at the Governor Broome Hotel. They luxuriated in having warm baths, comfortable beds, and 3 good meals a day. In fact, Nevill wrote to his mother, "Have been living on the fat of the land while in Broome. Guess I have put on a few pounds. 3 meals a day at the hotel. Good food, well cooked, and as much as one desires." They enjoyed visiting with church members, and Nevill even managed to arrange a date with Joan and one of her girlfriends, taking them out to Cable Beach to enjoy the rest and relaxation together. It would have been a tight squeeze with 3, maybe 4 people on the 1.2-meter wide car seat. But it wasn't all holiday. The men never forgot they were on a mission, and tired as they were, they went around the town selling books and collecting money for missions. Stay tuned to Faith FM for the next installment of this series, Right Around Australia, the story of Nevill Westwood and his Citroën Bubsie. For more information about this program, visit the website of The Incredible Journey, online at tij.tv/RAA.